Good evening, people of YouTube. This is jmoonies, and it's been a long time since I last do a commentary. I have to apologize as I haven't had as much leisure time to do it. With the live streaming actually taking up a surprising amount of time. But do not be fooled. This does not mean I haven't been putting time into games, and especially with Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, I feel like I've hit a pretty good developmental point. It actually kind of brings me back to the days of Marvel when I first discovered OTGs and suddenly things kind of blew up for me. But now I've kind of come to a certain understanding about how to play this game and how to kind of use my compensate for the weaknesses I have. Rather than struggling with my constant issues of executing SP skills, I realized instead of using meter for that, I should just use meter for my EX versions of normal skills. And as you can see nowadays, I've been playing around a lot with chaining multiple Megiddo fires together. It's still been a little tricky, but I finally figured out how to kind of pick up from the first Megiddo fire with 2B, 5B, and then doing a jump C into another Megiddo fire. It's actually been pretty crazy how consistently I've been getting them now, which is awesome, I gotta say. The next step I feel like would be to implement kind of the mortar shell following an EX Megiddo, or EX Megiddo. But I have been trying a lot these days, and at the least my damage output's going out. Going up. I don't exactly know. I don't know, there's still a sense for this game, and I've been having a lot of trouble with it. I mean, I figured out how to deal with zoning. I've been making smarter decisions to kind of use jump C when meeting an opponent in midair rather than jump B, which also makes it a little safe against certain 2B moves as well, just because I get that extra distance. But yeah, I'm learning to play smarter, zone out a bit more, know how to use my my summons on top of that. And that's been a huge development. I feel like I've been winning a little more consistently. Granted, I'm still not that great at the game, which, I mean, maybe a mindset in general. Getting out of those corner traps, learning to deal with pressure and things like that. But I want to say that while I usually try to get a variety of matches in on these commentaries, the majority of what I'll be going over today actually involves this one guy I met in player lobbies. Super cool guy, mains Akihiko. Isn't bars though, because I at least stand a chance against him. But Hunter Zero here, it's interesting when you run into a guy who's at a very similar level. And these are kind of the situations that player lobbies, or just player matches in general, sort of advocate. Is that you find someone at your level and you learn to kind of open your eyes up to the possibilities. You have enough opportunities to experiment or pull off your own combos. And that's kind of where I've been getting to lately, especially with this. I believe that the common method for Aegis is to kind of lead in with EX Megiddo, go into Mortar Shell, and then go into normal Megiddo Fire EX after that. I've actually been doing it in reverse, just because I realized when you do two normal EX Megiddo Fires, you actually, the opponent actually falls out of the combo naturally. So you have to use one and an EX. Order doesn't matter, although if my guess is right, damage scaling would probably dictate you should do the EX version first. That said, there have been a lot of neat little compromises I've been making. Normal EX Megiddo into EX Megiddo Fire into double Mortar Shell. And I think at one point I actually almost managed to catch him in a jump C after that too, to continue the combo. Oh god. Whenever you see me teabagging like that, that's typically because I'm trying to go into Orgia mode and forget that I have no Orgia meter. But as you can see there, once again, the invincibility of missile pods coming into play, making me invulnerable from Akihiko's full screen Zeodyne. A lot of people forget about, or I guess a lot of people just aren't aware of it, so it actually happens a few more times in these matches, but it's nice to know that I can fall back on these things. I don't think the activation is good enough for to do on reaction though, so I think a lot of the time I pretty much need to bait people who don't know any better into that special. Granted, as the game goes on and more people play it for like more than a month, I'm sure they'll all kind of catch on to things. But yeah, I have to say, recently, probably my two biggest weaknesses in this game now have turned out to be meter management, because I do run out of Orgia meter an awful lot, and also placement for Orgia mode, because I do tend to activate the mode when I'm way too close to my opponent. It's kind of tricky to work out because I feel like half the time I have to just let the meter burn. And granted, it doesn't take that long to regenerate back or cool down, as we should say, but I don't know how people do it. It's a lot of time management. I've been using bullets and my Persona Summon to kind of cover my activities, but a lot of the more seasoned players know they can sort of rush in. Unfortunately, Athena doesn't block physicals very well, so there really isn't that much fear on the other side. Missed the jump C there. But yeah, no, I've even improved the auto combo, change up, dash forward, do D, EX fire D version as opposed to C version, so I do that little hop up and catch them almost all the time. And then use EX mortar shells for that little extra damage there. It's pretty awesome. I don't know if that's really an effective use of 25 meter though, because I do notice the damage scales a lot after a certain point. If anyone can tell me, I mean, is there any actual reason for me to use EX Mortar Shell after Megiddo Fire? Because I know, I mean, obviously it does 2 hits, so that's a little more damage, but I mean, is the stun significantly longer? Would I be able to combo after that as well? Like, these are kind of the things kind of worthy of analysis, I feel like. I get the sense that a lot of the combos I kind of make on my own tend not to be optimized. So any Aegis players who actually pay attention to the numbers would probably scrutinize my strategy quite a bit. That's another thing. I also need to work on mid-air cross-ups. Not good at thinking or planning to change direction during my jumps, but I had like a whole bunch of opportunities for mix-ups on this guy, and like I only got it once and couldn't even confirm into that. I'm theorizing that if I catch him with an air C, I could probably pick it up with a 2B immediately, but I'll have to do a little more experimentation on that before I can say for sure. But this guy with his Shin Shoryuken combos. Oh, and then, yep, more invulnerability, and actually at close range I think the missiles are close enough to hit him like there, but screwed up my my mortar shell timing. That's still a little tricky because in order to combo off the mortar shell, I think you have to hit him pretty low. Right now Hunter Zero was AFK. I didn't realize it at the start there. But yeah, because if you launch the mortar too early, your opponent will bounce off of it pretty high in its flight arc, which won't give you the opportunity to hit him with a jump C after impact. You have to make sure it's slow, not only for the combo ability, but also to give you time to summon Athena again. Because if you didn't notice, when you hit an opponent with Megiddo Fire, Athena's pretty much occupied that entire time. You can't summon her for like a good, I want to say, 2/3 of a second once it activates. So the timing is always a little specific there, but I think, yeah, EX Mortar Shell tried to catch him in the sea. I think you have to super jump after that too, so it gets, it's a little tricky. But at the least, I want to say lots of progress despite the fact that I keep getting knocked down to C rank in ranked matches. It's a little infuriating, but I found, I don't know, player lobbies are a lot more fun, and then you do run into a lot more diversity. I have to say, I am getting sick of all the Minazuki players online. He's practically become Virgil for this game. But how are you guys doing on your what is it? First month and a half of Persona Arena Ultimax? It's definitely been purely experimental for me because I don't see very much play. I mean, granted, I don't go out of my way to look for it very much, but the most tech I've ever seen was that Yumacon tournament. And you know, Persona doesn't make much of a showing at like the run back. And here, yeah, like it was a yellow combo, but you could see the potential there. If I only got the EX timings down. Oh, and that's that's me trying to do Goddess Shield. This is why I need to do more EX moves, because I'm clearly not using that meter for supers. See, and then there I was trying for the command grab. I'm not exactly sure that would have worked, because I notice a lot of characters awakening SP skills, they tend, especially the full screen ones, they tend to have a ridiculous amount of like invulnerability frames at the start. Kind of bizarre. You'll see it probably later in this video, but there's actually a moment where, oh, see, there we go. Although I don't think that was pure. Yeah, those were yellow numbers, so I don't know when exactly Hunter would have been able to tech out of that. But things worth consideration. If you're caught in this ridiculous Megiddo Fire combo, you should always be teching, because I don't think it has very much longevity. Not like the crazy Akihiko combos Bars likes to do. But yeah, me trying to be sneaky, pushing Athena across the screen. And also having really bad Persona summoning timings. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And then another invincibility. Catch him. The missile does an excellent job of covering, because I think he was going for a DP. Actually, that's a good question. Can projectiles counter a DP? Because I know they counter physicals. If that was in fact what he was trying to do, that missile very well may have saved me, because I think he would have known to DP if I was going in straight for an overhead. But I'm definitely abusing the online tendency to run forward. I feel like it's really bad that I start so many of my combos with a raw Megiddo Fire. Maybe off an auto combo, that would be fine. Maybe a foot sweep, that would be decent. But just straight up raw Megiddo Fire is a terrible way to play this game. Ooh. And then those paralysis punches. I think those have paralysis effects on block too, right? That's what I was seeing over there. I haven't seen many Akihikos do it, so it's kind of like me here. But delay my cross-up dash, because nowadays, oh yeah, that wasn't gonna catch. Because nowadays a lot of people have a tendency to sort of, oh yeah, DP my follow-ups whenever I do an overhead and dash cancel into another overhead. So lately I've been kind of delaying my cross-ups to see if I could bait it out. Sadly, the only problem with that is it makes me safe, and it actually doesn't give me much of an opportunity to kind of punish it. But if I'm not mistaken, this should be one more match after this, probably. But yeah, still trying to figure out the tricks. I'm really bad at canceling into the crouch mix-ups or the foot sweep mix-ups. I remember at one point you could cancel foot sweep into an air dash again, but the only problem with that is that you have to, it's only on block. And I feel like about every time I do a foot sweep, it's always like a straight up whip. So obviously no, that was kind of weird that some of those missiles survived Zeodyne. Oh. But yeah, weirdly enough, Heavenly Shield, which I would have expected to just plow through, you know, he was invincible. And then he actually hit me in the end, so things to watch out for. I don't think you get that level of, I don't think you really get invulnerability when fighting Adachi either, so I have this weird theory that Adachi's full screens hyper with the slashes is actually a physical attack, so even if I did missile pods, I probably would have gotten hit by that if I were fighting Adachi. But yeah, it's it's actually quite surprising to me how often I pull off this Megiddo fire combo, even if it's not like complete or perfect, but it's been doing quite well by me so far. I think some of the damage gets through because I remember if you just do a normal one, despite all the hits, the damage doesn't come until the last one that shoots him to the ground, so I think at the least it's a good distraction. I think I should probably use it as more of an opportunity to cross him up once he techs out of it, because during that time I could kind of slide back and forth. Gotta learn to be more sneaky like that. But yeah, man, I'm just getting. I also kind of tried to experiment with starting off with EX Megiddo Fire and then catching him with bullets, but that, I don't know, the timing, so it's too much time to wait, and I don't know how to deal with that. I may just have to train myself to do mortars right off the bat. But yeah, hope a bunch of you guys are still playing, because I don't know, it's been good. At the least the player lobby's been steady, and like I'm really happy for that at the least. But if you're playing, let me know. I'm still doing my streams on Sunday, foreseeably through December at the least. We'll see what happens when Guilty Gear comes out, but at the least I'm having fun with this, and the fact that I'm getting better at this game kind of says something about my dedication this time around. Definitely I'm a lot better than when I was trying out with Persona 4 Arena Vanilla version. But as usual, thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know if you have any opinions, because I'm still a scrub, so any simple bread and butter combos you can suggest to me, or any recommendations on how I can improve that Megiddo combo I've been doing so far. Let me know in the comments, as usual. I'm sure Bars will say something, like how I have to train more, which he isn't completely inaccurate about. But anyways, enjoy the rest of this match, and have a good night.